Hey everyone, this is me. This video is going to be not for those who like to fly the planes themselves, but for you, the second in command or passengers. We all want to share our fun time with flying, but we forget sometimes what it was like and what it's like for other people who are not so sure. So this quick video is going to explain what it is we do and why we do it for the initial walk around. Hopefully it should put to rest some of your fears or phobias and make you a little bit more confident about taking that flight with us.
Hey everyone, it's me again. It's time to look forward. And before we get started with another video, I need you to do me a favor. So many of you have been watching my videos and it's great. I love it. I know you appreciate it. However, 90% of the viewers are non-subscribed. So do me a favor and please hit that subscribe button if you like the content and click the bell for notifications. I'm already starting to get attraction from companies. I'm trying to get sponsors. So if we want better content, if we want this to do well, because if the channel does well, it will make more and more flights possible, which makes a better channel for all of us. Then all I need you to do to help me is hit the subscribe button. That's it. I don't need money. I don't need any contributions. I just need you to hit that subscribe button. And it's free. So, alright, let's get on with this video. Hi everyone. So, what I wanted to do is just explain to you what it is that we do when we're going around with plane and stuff like this. This is basically going to be for anyone that is a passenger or is SIC, second in command. So first of all, how do we enter a plane? Because if you notice, this is not a typical Cessna, because the PC answer is there's no difference between Cessna and a Cherokee. The correct answer is Cherokees are better. So the black surface is where you step on the wing. The flap included, when it's up you can, and it's locked, so you can step on it. As you can see, it says no step. When the flap is down, you can't stand on it, and there's an orange thing that you'll see when we go up. So you hold the handle with your left hand, step on the left, and you climb up. So the first thing we do is, normally you would check the squawks, check the folders, make sure there's nothing in. I'm going to make sure everything is good, which is, yep, it is so far. I'm going to go check the squawk book in a second. So the other thing that we do, we follow the checklist that we have here. And there's a pre-flight checklist. Now if you're a passenger and the first thing that is like going to be your first flight, I'm probably going to give you the checklist and have you read it off to me. This is a good way to settle your own mind and your own nerves, because you're reading out loud and your mind acknowledges what you're saying. So, you know, when you're inside the cockpit, remove the control lock, radio master and stuff like this. But as most planes charge by the Hobbs times, this doesn't. We charge by the takt time, which is this thing down here. But first we want to make sure all the lights are working. Nav lights must be on for AD to be out in this particular plane. So let's go ahead and turn that on. And to the exit the plane, we do the opposite, right handle. So what we're going to do is just do a quick 360 and make sure all these lights are working. Lights are working. All lights are working. There's nothing under the plane under this one. The Cherokees are on the other side that I know but fly, have a beacon underneath, but the beacon is up here. We got the tail, which is good. And Alright, we'll get back inside and turn the hubs off. This is just a quick way to, like, while the hub's on, they're charging you money on the FBO ones. So just get in, get out. So now we're going to extend the flaps all the way down. We get out, and now you can see that the flap is down. We can't use it, so we come here, step, and you can now see that it says warning, flap, step unsafe. You can't stand on this because it's not safe. We check the lock, we make sure everything is okay. We'll come along, we check in the screws, make sure there's everything. These things are attached, we're good. Screws in here. Now I look along the ring, both underneath and at the top. This is not particularly on the checklist, but this is something that I like to do. Now what I'm looking for is like for any blue streaks, any kind of thing coming from the rivets and stuff like that, and if that's a good indication that it's a fuel leak. How do we know it's a fuel leak? Because they dye the gas a certain color. For 100 low lead, it is blue. So here we have the tie down, and this is like if you overfill the fuel tank, the excess gas comes up here. Okay, I'm gonna check the tires. Yes, it's good. Brakes look good, and we open. Looks like we're at the tabs. Yes, I do have a
proverb. Trust but verify. And the Americans think that Ronald Reagan thought that up. Can you imagine?
A strainer. We make sure there's no bits, and I'm gonna do that once I open the garage, the handle doors. It's just a personal preference. I don't want to sump fuel with the doors closed, even though it's not particularly airtight. I don't want gasoline to vaporize. So we open up the cowling on the right hand side, just like a regular car. We got, don't worry about it. As a passenger, you're not going to be too concerned. Because when I first started, I knew as much about airplanes as I don't know, but I don't. So here's the dipstick. It is something that you're familiar with, as you have it in your car. We check to make sure that there's enough oil in the plane, between 8 and 6. The absolute lowest that we can go is 2. But like your car, that white thing is the air filter. This is a magneto that goes to the spark plugs. Everything about the plane is like to do with redundancy. There's always something as a backup. Like each cylinder has a spark plug, one on the top, one at the bottom, and one spark plug goes to one mag, and the one on top goes to the other mag. So even if one fails, you have a redundancy. Now, the reason why I'm showing this is because I know the common phobia or fear about flying is that the engine should fail. What I'm trying to say is that the engine failing should be the least thing to worry about, because even with the engine out, you can survive. So that looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this because they have electric blankets. I'll move that out of the way in a second. So we remove these. The thing that we're going to check inside here, I know it's hard to see, is the alternator belt. It's just like a car engine, to be honest. When you turn the key, there's a little starter motor with a cog wheel, a wheel with the clock wheels with the bites. It turns this thing around and it generates power, and then it generates So the one thing that's different from the 140 and the Warrior here is that the landing light is here, and on the 140 the carburetor filter is around the light. Here, this is what this is. And you got air to cool the engine and cool the oil. Okay, so on this side, we're here, we're just checking the brake level. We open this thing up, which I just did, and there's the other mag, the other side of the oil filter. There's another sump here. I'm going to check the nose wheel strut, make sure it's good. Exhaust is here. Brake pad is good. Windows open. That looks good. There's another sump here. Now, one of the good things about a Cherokee compared to a Cessna is like the static port is normally on the side of the fuselage, and on the 140s they don't even have pitot heats compared to Cessnas, because it's very unlikely they're going to need it, and also because the 140s are not authorized to go in icing conditions. So there's that, no blue streaks. Now, the rule of thumb is if your knees don't get dirty on pre-flight, you didn't do a good enough pre-flight. So on a Cherokee, this is the pitot mast, and the static port is on the back, so it's very unlikely you're going to get anything in there to block it. So you got the pitot ram here, you got the drain hole, and the static is on the back. You got the other tie down. We'll check the gas on this side. We got tabs, which is good. So yeah, I'm only going to go up and do a couple of patterns. So nothing along this. And again, we'll do the same on this side. Check the screws. And like I said, the engine fairing is the least, should be the least of your concerns. Once you come to know more about the planes, Cessnas or Cherokees, then you know what to be really afraid of. And I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want you to. It's a case of knowing too much. So we got the avionics, we got the radios, nav 1, nav 2, VOR on the back. This is the ELT, emergency locator, transponder, signal, seal plate. The empennage, which is the whole thing, and oh chip, that's good. That looks good, not scraped. The anti-silver trim. Okay. Alright, so that's that done, and that's the pre-flight. Now, if this is your first flight, I'm a little bit nervous. A low wing is probably better for you because when you're sitting in here, you can only look straight ahead. And what do people say? Don't look down. Well, if you look down here, what you're going to see is a wing. So, alright, so that's the end of the pre-flight. Let's go ahead and get up in the air.